What's up? I'm Jaco. Today we're going deep on Claude Code. This is not another AI chatbot with a code button. This is a full AI software engineer that lives in your terminal. It reads your entire code base. It writes production code, it runs your tests, it manages your Git, and it can even work while you sleep. By the end of this video, you'll know every major feature and exactly when to use each one. Like and subscribe if you want more. Let's go. 9 layers of power. Here's the full map. Claude Code is built in 9 layers. At the base, setup and permissions. Then the 7 built-in tools for reading, editing, and searching code. After that, daily workflows like the read, edit, verify loop. Then prompting strategies and thinking modes. CLAUDE.md gives it permanent project memory. MCP connects it to databases and GitHub. Hooks give you automatic quality gates. And at the top, agentic coding lets it work fully on its own. 3 interfaces and shortcuts. There are 3 ways to use Claude Code. The interactive terminal is your daily driver. You say refactor auth to use JWT. Claude reads the files, shows you a diff, and you hit Y to approve. In VS Code, Command Escape opens Claude as a sidebar. You get inline diffs right in your editor, and Headless mode is the secret weapon. You pipe failing tests directly to Claude. It fixes them with 0 interaction. That's how you plug it into CI/CD. When to use what? Here's the decision framework. Every row solves a real problem. Need rules every session? That's Claude.md. Auto-loaded on start, shared via Git. Need Claude to talk to your database? Use an MCP server, not shell queries. Want auto-formatting? A hook runs prettier after every edit. And if you want Claude working while you sleep? Headless mode with restricted permissions. Each tool solves one problem. Use the wrong one, and you'll fight Claude instead of working with it. The 7 built-in tools. 7 tools. Each one has specific limits and rules. The file reader loads 2,000 lines by default. Use offset and limit on big files, or you'll eat your whole context. It also reads images visually. Paste a screenshot path, and Claude literally sees it. The editor does exact string replacement. If the string appears twice, the edit fails. And here's the critical rule. You must read a file before editing. If Claude skips that step, the tool refuses to run. Pick the right tool. Here's the golden rule. Always use the specialized tool, never the general shell command. Every row in this table is a real mistake developers make. They use cat instead of the file reader, grep from the shell instead of code search, find instead of the file finder. The specialized tools are faster, they give Claude better context, and they handle permissions correctly. The only time you reach for the shell is when there's no specialized alternative. The read, edit, verify loop. The most important pattern in Claude Code is the read, edit, verify loop. Without it, you're coding blind. On the left, the wrong way. You ask Claude to fix something. It guesses what the code looks like. The edit fails because the string doesn't match. 3 rounds of frustration. On the right, the correct way. Claude reads the file first. It sees the exact code with line numbers, makes 1 precise edit, then runs your test to confirm. 1 round, done. Git reviews and checkpoints. Claude handles your entire Git workflow. For commits, it reads your stage changes and writes a message focused on why, not what. For pull requests, it analyzes all the commits on the branch, not just the latest one. For code review, paste a PR link, and Claude checks for bugs, security holes, and missing tests. And here's the secret weapon. Double escape opens the rewind menu. You can undo any change. Keep the code but reset the conversation, or keep the conversation but undo the code. Vague versus specific prompts. The quality of your prompt determines everything. On the left, fix the bug. Claude searches the entire code base, picks the wrong file, assumes wrong behavior, breaks something else. 5 rounds, 50 cents wasted. On the right, a specific prompt. Fix the null check in parser.ts, line 42. Crashes when the config has no database key, should fall back to localhost. Claude goes directly to the right line. Fixed in one shot, 5 cents. Complete command reference. Every command you need in one place. Compact summarizes your conversation to free up context. Use it at 60%, don't wait for autocompact at 80. Clear wipes everything when you switch tasks. BTW asks a side question without touching your history. Fork duplicates your session to try 2 approaches. Cost shows your spending. Model switches mid-session. And think hard triggers deep reasoning for architecture and security reviews. 4 configuration layers. Claude.md is the most underrated feature. Without it, Claude suggests jest when you use Vitest. Creates files in the wrong directory, uses default exports when your team uses named. With a good Claude.md, Claude behaves like a team member who already read all the docs, generated with /init, then refined manually, and committed to Git so your whole team gets the same AI behavior. The critical number, about 150 instruction budget total. System prompt uses 50, you get about 100. Init and scoped rules. 2 features that make Claude.md powerful. First, /init. It scans your project automatically. Package.json, tsconfig, PyProject, cargo. Detects your framework, test runner, build commands, code style. Generates a starter, Claude.md. Then you refine it. Second, the rules directory. Put markdown files with glob patterns in the front matter. A rule scope to source API only loads when Claude touches API files. This saves context because unrelated rules never load. MCP External Superpowers. MCP stands for Model Context Protocol. It's how Claude Code talks to the outside world. Without MCP, Claude only sees local files and shell. With MCP Servers, it queries your database directly, reads GitHub PR comments, searches Sentry for errors, sends Slack messages. Think of each server as a plugin. You configure them in your settings file, and Claude gets new tools automatically. The protocol is open standard, not locked to Anthropic. Any AI tool can use the same servers. Hooks, 4 core events. Hooks are event listeners for Claude's actions. Pre-tool use fires before any action. Your hook receives JSON with the tool name and input. Return a non-zero exit code and the action is blocked. Post-tool use fires after. The killer use case? Extract the file path from the JSON and pipe it to Prettier. Auto-format on every single edit. And the output feeds back to Claude. So if ESLint finds errors, Claude sees them and fixes them automatically in the next step. Self-correcting loop. Hook types and all events. 2 types of hooks. Command hooks run a shell command. That's 95% of what you'll use. The matcher is regex against the tool name. Edit pipe, write fires for both. HTTP hooks post JSON to a URL instead of running a command. Great for external services. And beyond the 4 core events, there are 17 more. Session start, session end, pre-compact, config change, sub-agent start, and more. 21 lifecycle events total. Work while you sleep. This is where Claude Code becomes truly autonomous. Headless mode runs with 0 human interaction. Pipe in a prompt, get results back. Use max turns to cap iterations and control cost. Sub-agents are isolated workers with their own 200K context window. Use worktrees when multiple agents need to edit files at the same time. Each gets its own Git branch, and on GitHub, mention at Claude in a PR comment. A background agent investigates, writes code, and pushes a commit. No terminal needed. Command skills and SDK. 3 power user features. Custom commands are markdown files that become /commands. Write your review checklist once, save it, run /project review forever. Skills are commands with superpowers. Front matter controls which tools are allowed and who can invoke it, and the SDK is the NPM package for building custom tools programmatically, streaming messages, session management, cost tracking, build PR review bots, multi-repo migration scripts, or test generators. Cheat sheet and outro. Here's your cheat sheet. Bookmark this. Every feature with the one number you need to remember. Start with the terminal and Claude.md. That alone makes you 3 times faster. Then add MCP for database access, hooks for auto-formatting, and eventually headless mode for full automation. Don't try to learn everything at once. Pick one row from this table, master it for a week, then add the next one. Head to dataforall.dev to practice with interactive exercises. Link in the description. If this was useful, hit subscribe. We've got a whole GenAI track. Happy learning and peace.